If you're watching this, something recently shifted for you. Maybe you finally got a formal diagnosis: ADHD, autism, dyslexia, or something else. Maybe you're still in the middle of the paperwork of figuring it out. Or maybe no one has officially told you anything yet, but you've been reading, recognizing yourself in other stories, and wondering if there is finally a name for the way your life feels. However you got here, this video is for you. We're starting at the very beginning. No assumed knowledge, no jargon, just an honest, grounded explanation of what neurodivergence actually is and why understanding it changes the way you see your past. Neurodivergent simply means your brain processes information differently than what's considered typical. It isn't a disease or a glitch. It is a natural variation in how a human brain is wired, how it filters data, how it regulates emotion, and how it responds to the world. The term was coined by sociologist Judy Singer in the late 1990s. It grew out of the autistic community as a way to describe neurological differences without framing them as something that needed to be cured or fixed. Neurodivergence is an umbrella. It includes ADHD, autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, Tourette's, and several other conditions. What they all have in common is that the brain works on a different operating system. It's like trying to run Mac software on a PC. The PC isn't wrong, it's just not built for that specific code. Here's something most people don't realize. Neurodivergence is not rare. Research suggests that between 15 and 20% of the population is neurodivergent. That is 1 in 5 people. What is rare is getting identified early, especially if you're an adult, especially if you're a woman, or if you were high-functioning enough to mask your way through childhood. Masking is when you unconsciously suppress your natural traits just to fit in, to seem neurotypical, to not cause friction. Many of us spent decades doing this without even realizing it. It is a constant background performance that leads to a soul-level tiredness that sleep can't touch. That exhaustion has a source. It's the cost of pretending to be a different kind of person. So what does this actually look like? It's personal, but there are common threads. It might look like being incredibly focused on things that fascinate you, where time literally disappears, while being physically stuck when it comes to starting a task that doesn't spark your brain. It might look like being overwhelmed by the hum of the fridge or the texture of your clothes while everyone else seems oblivious. It might look like being told your whole life that you just need to try harder, when the truth is you were working twice as hard as everyone else just to stay at the starting line. It might look like losing your keys or forgetting a deadline, not because you don't care, but because your brain tracks the world through a different lens. When you get a diagnosis or a moment of self-recognition, you often feel relief and grief at the same time. Relief because you finally have a framework, an explanation. But right behind it is often grief for the years spent being misunderstood by teachers, partners, or even yourself, for the version of your life that might have been easier if someone had seen the real you sooner. A diagnosis is not a ceiling. It is not a label meant to limit you. It is data. Understanding your neurodivergence gives you a real explanation for why certain environments have always felt like an uphill battle. It's not a lack of effort. It's a mismatch of environment. If you're sitting with a fresh diagnosis or a dawning recognition, remember, the friction you felt isn't a character flaw. It's a lack of compatibility between your wiring and your environment. You don't need to be fixed to be functional. You need to be understood. We're going to dive deep into what that looks like in the next video. Hit subscribe, and let's get started. I'll see you in part 2.